Hi, my name is Barb Sackel. Today's video is made possible by QuiltWoman.com. In this video, I will be showing you my trick that goes along with my latest pattern called Let's Design. In this pattern, there are 25 quilt layouts. So once you make the block, you can lay it out in any design that you like. That's why it's called Let's Design. Now, featuring in this pattern are 2.5-inch strip rolls by Katia Hoffman for EBI fabric. So we have Rustling Rapsody, and here we have all the soft greens that make you feel like you're on a beach somewhere. Then we have the tropical Cadenza, the soft purples and blues and greens. So go ahead and take a drink and sit back and enjoy the colors. And then third, we have Springtime Sonata mix. You'll be seeing the quilts that these all are in. And decorate, you're thinking? Maybe you should. Well, picture this, a room with light gray painted walls, your quilt put up against the wall, and then all your throw pillows and curtains pulled off the shades of these. Oh, the room would be magnificent. Anyway, back to what I was saying. In this pattern, there's 25 quilt design layouts. So, how you go about doing these blocks is you're going to make a strip set using 4 2.5-inch strips. Now, if you're questioning how do I make the perfect strip set, well, I have 2 videos to assist you. The first one is the perfect 1/4-inch seam allowance, and that'll help you set it up on your machine so as you sew, your pieces will come out true to size. The second video is the strip piecing video. The most important part of that video is ironing, so that when you iron your strip set, it'll be nice and straight. Very important for your block work. Well, like I said, this is going to be for block A. And block A is shown behind me in the quilt with the strips running on the diagonal here. Block B runs the opposite way, and I do have a quilt to show you for that. And the third quilt uses block A and B as a combination. So like I said, you have a big variety of decisions to make when you go ahead and put your quilt together. So back to our strip set. We have our strip set, and it's all ironed out nice and neat. And then we're going to take a piece of background material, and it's going to be cut the same size as your strip set. You're going to lay it right sides together, and you're going to sew down both edges the long way. Well, don't you know this ends up as a tube? Well, a few simple cuts, and we have 4 blocks made already. Isn't this exciting? Well, I can't wait to show you how to cut it out. Be right back. Okay, so you can see I have my 12.5-inch ruler in front of me, and the directions on the pattern say that you want to cut 11.5-inch square. So what I did is I put masking tape right on the 11.5-inch on this side and the 11.5-inch on this side, and that just aids me for when I want to place it on the sewn line. That gives me a better visual for placement. So what I'm going to do is start on the left side of my strip set, and I'm going to take the 11.5, like I just said, on each side of the ruler, and I'm going to place it on the sewn line. Now that's very important. You don't want the edge, you want the sewn line. And when I cut this block out, it is going to be a perfect 11.5-inch square, and you won't have any squaring up to do. So now that it's on the sewn line at 11.5 inches, I'm going to take my rotary cutter, and I'm going to cut up one side and down the other side, and this block is cut out. Well, all you have to do is give a little bit of pull there, and you have your first block. Now, to continue cutting out this strip, I am now going to turn the strip in the opposite direction. Again, I'm going to take my ruler, and I'm going to put the 11.5-inch on the sewn line on one side and then the other. Sometimes your ruler will match up with this cut edge, and I would say most of the time it is not. So don't worry about it if it doesn't. You have enough of your strip set to cut. So you can see that I do have a little bit of an edge here. I'm going to start my first cut right up one side and down the other. I'm going to just do a little tug, and there's block number 2. Again, I'm going to turn this around. For my third cut, I go right back on the sewn line with my 11.5 inch ruler placement. And again, I don't worry about my cut edge. Up one side and down the other side. Guess what we're going to do now? A little tug. There's block number 3. One more block to go. We're going to just turn this around. Again, placing 11.5 inch mark on the sewn line. And up one side, down the next. And did you notice that in less than a minute we have 4 perfect blocks cut out? Now, one warning. When you have this block cut out, all these edges are on the bias, so they will stretch. At this point, when you take it to the ironing board, make sure you press everything very gently. So again, when you take it, you're just going to give it a gentle press because you don't want any stretching happening in your block because this is the perfect size. Once you have all your blocks cut out, then you're going to go to the design wall and start designing. Now, let me show you those quilts I promised. Be right back. Okay, so we did block A, now we're going to do block B. And when you do block B, you have 5 strips in your strip set now. Then you take your strip set of 5 and you're going to cut it into 8.5 inch segments. You're going to put the segments together and you're going to end up with one long strip set going the opposite direction. Now, you don't need this whole length. In fact, the end length you'll probably run out of fabric, but you only need a small little piece down here to make your last cut. So you're going to take your background and lay it on here, and then you'll be doing the same thing as you did block A, sewing down each side so you end up with a tube. Cut the tube exactly the same, and this is going to be block B. So again, let me show you all 3 quilts that we did together. This is the first one, and you saw this one hanging on the wall, and this was block A. Now, block B goes in the opposite direction. Here it is, block B. Now, block C has both blocks, or excuse me, the third quilt has both blocks A and B. So you can see going in the diagonal and then going again right to the point. And this is the design I came up using both. Well, I hope you've enjoyed my presentation today showing you the EBI newest strip sets. And if you like this pattern, please feel free to purchase it at QuiltWoman.com. We'll see you again real soon. Bye now.